everyone. So my name is Gloria, as Felina introduced. Thank you, Felina. Thank you, Mary, for making this event. It's actually wonderful. I'm glad I got the opportunity to speak here to you today about young entrepreneurs, executive lunchbox. A little bit more about me. I am a 17-year-old high school senior, which is an exciting year for me. And like Felina talked about, I'm involved in a lot of different organizations throughout the campus. It's a lot of the things that I'm involved with are things I'm very passionate about. And I try my best to be authentic about everything that I do, and I hope that I can convey some of those lessons to you today, what the talk I'm about to give in the next 15 minutes. So first, I want to tell you a story about a girl or a young woman named Isabella Rose Taylor. Now, anyone would say that she's a successful entrepreneur. Her fashion line is actually available on Nordstrom, both online and in stores. And just a few weeks ago, her line was debuted. Her spring 2015 line was debuted at the New York Fashion Week, which is a huge milestone for anyone who does this. But perhaps the most incredible thing about this young woman is that she is only 13 years old. Absolutely incredible. And when she was interviewed as to why she decided to start what she liked doing at such a young age, she said a really simple response: why wait? And I think this is a sentiment that a lot of young people are having these days. I mean, you're seeing 17-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, maybe even infants who are starting to do what they love and are starting to convey what they're doing through businesses or products or organizations. And what we really see is that with these young people, they're pursuing what they're passionate about, and they're pursuing these interests, and they have at the core this form of authenticity that sometimes is lost when you grow up and you're going through this process. So I want to talk to you guys today about two things. One, about how young people can pursue what they enjoy doing, pursue their passions, their authenticity, and create a bigger idea or a product or an organization out of it. And two, I want to apply that concept to people of any age, people like you or me, whether you're 14 or 41, to be able to apply those concepts to maintain authenticity no matter how old you are, no matter what you do. And I'm going to introduce that with an acronym. And I know acronyms bring up a lot of bad things for me. I know SAT, GPA, student, those kind of things, but this is a good acronym. And it really helped me grow and learn what I want to do, so I want to share it with you. ICA. For me, it was a lot of I see a solution. And from that, I'd say identify, connect, and accomplish. Now, there was a story about a teenager in California. She started to go into what she liked, and what she was passionate about was environmental preservation and saving the world, that sort of thing. So she identified a passion and a problem. Now, right now we're in drought in California. This is a huge problem for the amount of water that we're using, and obviously it's a big problem that's come to be more urgent as time has gone on. So she decided to connect to a lot of the government officials in her town. She talked about the problem that we were wasting so much water in these places that we weren't even paying attention to. And what she said was that in restaurants, people were pouring glasses of water. It's a customary thing to give people glasses of water that they didn't even want. She said that we were wasting thousands of gallons of water just by offering this glass of water that people really didn't use or drink, and later it was just poured down the sink and wasted. So she decided to accomplish something, and she started this initiative called Ask to Pour. And it was done through hundreds of restaurants in her area where people just asked if they wanted water. And instead of just giving it to them whether or not they wanted it or not, they would ask, and you would get this glass. And through that, the mayor of the town said that they'd be raising thousands or saving thousands of dollars just by saving water. And it wouldn't just be good for the businesses, but it'd be good for California as a whole. So this idea of identifying, connecting, and accomplishing, really you get to see that you get to embody, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? Connect it to people outside that may be able to help you, especially for young entrepreneurs or young people in general. It's essential to have those connections and finally to be able to accomplish something that you enjoy doing. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my story, about how this acronym applies to me. And so first, I want to tell you about myself. By all instances, I am a nerd. I mean, we share the same glasses. I'm a nerd. Being a young person who is thoroughly nerdy and who expresses it, it can be pretty hard. In elementary school, people pass a lot of judgments about you. I mean, I remember in elementary school, I was the kind of person who liked to do multiplication times tables and be like the first one done after everyone was finished. And a lot of people would kind of say, oh, you're such a geek. Like, this is a thing that people get bullied for and made fun of, and that was something that was really present in my life growing up. But there was also something that I really enjoyed doing. Part of being a nerd is that I loved learning. And coming from a family where my dad was an engineer and my mom grew up, she was a doctor, they really instilled this idea of hard work and learning. And I used to complain to my dad. I'd be like, why am I learning about this when I'm never going to use it in my life? And he said, it doesn't matter. Whatever you learn is going to teach you something else. It's going to teach you how to think. It's going to teach you what you're thinking. It's going to teach you a new perspective, a new idea. And even though, now I'm 17 years old, applying to college, having these college apps, I know I'm not going to get into science education. I don't think I'm going to be a chemist or a biologist. But science was something growing up that really changed my worldview and changed my perspective about things. I had this passion for science, and I had this passion for learning. And so about a year ago, I learned about this organization called Catalyst for Success. And it was an idea that these two students from Westview High School had about going to elementary and middle schools and presenting and promoting this idea of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. I think we all share this idea that back when we were in elementary school, we really didn't have the resources to learn about science. I remember the first time that I really cared about science education was in middle school, back when I was almost in my teens. And we both thought that, having this idea or this scientific mind to process things or the way that you think about things in a different way is important. And we both thought that that was so important that we decided to create an organization out of it called Catalyst for Success. And from the beginning of this idea, something that we were all passionate about, science education, and then connecting to a bunch of different teachers throughout Poway Unified, and we reached out to the superintendent of Poway Unified School District, and he ended up being on our advisory board. The CEO of the company, named Jason Guh, he got the president of the American Chemical Association on board. The former UCSD chancellor is also on an advisory board. And just seeing all the support, it really helped turn this idea into this. And this might look a little bit dangerous, yes, but I assure you it's 100% safe even with that ball of fire. This is one of the things that we enjoy doing. This is one of our assembly presentations that we do at elementary schools, and this one is called the hydrogen balloon. And so this balloon, it floats, it's filled with not helium but hydrogen, and hydrogen is a flammable gas. So when you hold up a little candle or anything with a flame source to it, it absolutely explodes. And it's completely safe because of this distance, and at most it's just going to singe your arm hairs off. So we have this idea, and we've visited almost, I think it's almost 30,000 kids in the past 2 years. And one of the letters that they sent to us, this was from an elementary school child, I think it was a first grader. And after our presentation doing this was sent over as a thank you note. And it was just awesome seeing the I like chemistry and seeing, I think we were up there doing a science experiment, and just being able to accomplish that. And being able to, go from an idea, something that I really felt strongly about, something that I thought was a part of who I was, learning, science, education, and being able to convey that through something like this is just such an awesome experience. And I think that this idea of authenticity, with young people, pursuing what they like and bringing, their nerdiness or whatever it is to the company, I think is really important. And I think it should be important no matter what age you are. So I don't have written prompts or written papers to write on, but I do ask that you guys put on something that you probably haven't put on since grade school, which is your thinking caps. And I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. And I want you guys to perhaps discuss it with your neighbor, maybe take 30 seconds to think about it, and then think about how it applies to your life. So back to this acronym about I, identify. Who am I? In the past when I used this acronym, I meant, okay, what are the problems that I think I can solve? What are the passions that I have? But when it comes to authenticity, when it comes to what I believe in, a lot of times I like to ask myself, who am I? I'm a daughter. I'm a nerd. I'm a 17-year-old. And that's what I'm going to ask you guys. Who are you? Aside from yes or no, being a mother or a sister or a daughter, what are the beliefs that you have? What are the different things that you believe in that are essential to your core? And I want you guys to just think about that for a few seconds and just write that down. Alright, so now that we've written some things about who we are, I want you to connect that and think about how you can change that from who we are and make that how we are. Because a lot of the times the way that, how we are, how we act in front of other people, like we said earlier, we tend to put a mask on. How we are does not tend to coincide with who we are. So let's think of some ways that we can connect the how to the who. Perhaps joining a place like Hera Hub, where you can be in a community with such like-minded people who share common interests and beliefs and values. Perhaps it's going to pursue a hobby that's outside of your business, thinking about how you can be different in other ways, thinking about your other interests and your passions, and how we can connect ultimately who we are, that we believe who we are, to how we act to other people. It's 5 seconds to think about that. And finally, how can we accomplish this? And I think that brings us back to the question that Isabel Taylor asked earlier. And this brings back to, at time, hers was an answer, but now I'm proposing it to you guys as a question. Why wait? What's holding you back from accomplishing this? What's holding you back from being more authentic, from taking off your mask and exposing who you are to becoming how you are? And I think this is a really important question as to why are we waiting? What is holding us back? And this is the final question that I'm going to propose to all of you guys to think about. And after thinking about this, I hope that we can have a bit of time to just share with one another, perhaps the person sitting next to you, about the different things that we answered. Who are we? How can we make this connect? How can we accomplish it? And ultimately, what are the things holding us back from accomplishing it? Because sometimes it's realizing what the things we are doing, sometimes it's realizing that helps us realize how to do it.